Hello and welcome back to London Cycle Routes. Today I'll be showing you how to cycle from Oxford Street in central London to the museums at South Kensington. This ride takes just 10 to 15 minutes and you can do the whole thing on quiet streets and protected cycle lanes. By public transport, the same journey takes more like half an hour, so cycling is the obvious way to make this trip. If you find this video useful or you just enjoy watching it, then please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, as I try to post new videos just like it every week. I'd also like to say a huge thank you to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to contribute too, then you can find a link in the description below the video. Alright, let's get going. So we're starting at the western end of Oxford Street and we're going to turn around and use these toucan crossings to get to the Marble Arch roundabout. You can see the bike symbol on the crossing there showing that you are allowed to cycle over it. This traffic island is probably the most desolate place in central London, so we're going to make a speedy getaway via these two other toucan crossings, which are going to take us towards the protected cycle lane down Park Lane, which we've just joined here. Do observe these zebra crossings here, and if anyone's trying to cross from the pavement onto the bus stop island, make sure that you give way to let them on. Now, normally you just continue straight down this protected lane, but when I came here, there was some works being done, so there is actually a small diversion which is directing cyclists up onto this shared pavement. Do watch out for pedestrians. Now, the works are actually pretty cool. When this cycle lane was built in 2020, it was done so with temporary materials, and TfL have gradually been turning it into a permanent materials cycleway, so replacing the plastic ones and such with proper paving, curbs and things like that. You can see the plastic ones here which were part of the original design, and you can see a bit that they've already finished just here with proper curbs. I suspect they'll have finished all the sections they're going to convert by the end of 2025, which is the year that this is being filmed. If you're a regular viewer, you may remember my Oxford Street to Oval video from back in June, where they were working on a section at the southern end of the cycleway. Well, you can see the finished product with these curbs here, and after these ones as well at this bus stop with these nice fresh curbs. They're certainly taking their time with this one, but given the reasonable quality of the diversion that exists that we just went over, I actually don't really mind. Our route turns into shared space for a second here, so do please be mindful of pedestrians as you cycle through here. They might be waiting at the crossing here, for example. Now, the key point of this video, apart from showing you how to get out of Oxford Street and onto the Park Lane cycleway, is to show you how to get to the big museums at South Kensington, so the Science Museum, the V&A, the Natural History Museum, plus Imperial College, without having to brave the hated Exhibition Road, which is a confusing mess, particularly at the junction with Hyde Park West Carriage Drive. So even if you think you know how to make this trip, please do keep watching, because I think I've worked out a better way which minimises the time spent on Exhibition Road, which is too busy for comfortable all ages cycling in my view. For now, we're just cycling down the South Carriage Drive of Hyde Park, and as you can see, it's an absolute dream. You've got a protected cycle lane, which I prefer to use, but honestly, you could also cycle on the carriageway because it's closed to through traffic anyway now, and there are very few cars there. The trick to avoiding Exhibition Road is to turn off early at the little used Prince of Wales Gate, which we're going to take today, but it's quite easy to miss, and the way to remember it is that it's the first gate accessible to traffic after the Hyde Park Barracks, and the easiest way to remember where the Hyde Park Barracks is that it is this big modernist tower. You absolutely can't miss it. The barracks was designed by architect Sir Basil Spence, who also did Coventry Cathedral and the University of Sussex. There's another little stretch of parkland after the barracks, but Prince of Wales Gate comes up very quickly on our left afterwards. Thankfully, the designers of this cycle lane did leave a gap so that people on bikes could easily make the turn. You'll want to pass through the gap with the plastic poles there. You then get a traffic light to take you across Kensington Road and into Ennismore Gardens. Now, Ennismore Gardens is by no means traffic free. You might see some cars on it. This is mid-morning on a weekday though, and there was basically just one cab here. It is absolutely quieter than Exhibition Road itself though, and in my view, a lot more manageable if you're looking for a quiet cycle route. In a moment, we'll turn left through some bollards onto a pleasant little traffic-free street, and we're actually going to go past student halls for Imperial College London on the left here. One of these is called Gabor Hall, named after Hungarian-British electrical engineer Denis Gabor, who fled Nazi Germany in 1933 and won a Nobel Prize for inventing holography while working at Imperial College. After one last bar gate at the end of Watts Way here, we emerge deep into the middle of Exhibition Road, within a stone's throw of the Science Museum and everything else here. So we've made it, and I think all with a lot less stress than having to ride down this street. For those that don't know, Exhibition Road was designed with the idea that cars, pedestrians and cyclists would all just share the same space, an idea that was briefly popular early this century. As such, it has no proper pavements, and as you probably saw, there were just big cars left up or where people would normally walk. It's apparently a nightmare to use if you're visually impaired, and it's common to see tourists just assume that it's pedestrianised and wander into the middle of the road after coming out of the museums. The paving is pretty nice visually, but because it's in the Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea, no effort has been made at all to reduce traffic on the street, and it is mostly just a busy road. It could actually be decent if it was bus gated or filtered and the parking removed, but that will never happen given the local council's attitude to restricting car traffic. Until something like that does happen, the only good to come of this street is probably the fact that after shared space was tried here, nobody ever really tried it anywhere else for quite obvious reasons. If you enjoyed this video, please do hit subscribe on YouTube and hit the bell icon so that you're alerted to new videos. I post new ones every week, and please do leave a like if you like what you saw. And thank you once again to everyone who supports the channel on Patreon. If you want to throw money at me too, there's a link in the description. I'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.